Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim, preaching this word of truth and sincerity around the four corners. Like Elder Malcolm will be saying, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Peace and salutations to the Akim and the few Aqua, the true believers of the hopeful elect, and peace and salutations, shalom to the Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that live amongst the heathen, and that look like the heathen, shalom to y'all as well. I'm just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy. I came across this article while watching the brother Nazar Cud, GMS Precepts, that's his YouTube page. Subscribe and be edified. He drops a lot of historical gems. He dropped a historical gem a couple days ago or a day ago, dealing with Jake, and it had to do with the ambulance and how Jake is a pioneer of the ambulance. Which just further proves that we have to be the Israelites, because the children of the Bible, because you see that most people don't even know that so-called black people, the Southern Kingdom, mainly the tribe of Judah, that everyday appliances that you use, like the refrigerator and the air conditioner in the summer, and the toilet, just to name a few, a broom, a mop, these are all created by so-called Negroes. And let me not do too much rambling. Let me just go into the article. I'm gonna hit a precept or two, and Lord's willing, this to be edifying and straight to the point. I got this article. It's from Howard Hanna. It says Pittsburgh's black paramedics who pioneered emergency medicine. All right, let me start from the top. It says, as part of Black History Month, and this was written a few years ago, February 21st, 2023. So this is a few years old, like 2 years old. It says, as part of Black History Month, Howard Hanna is spotlighting the brave men who made up the Freedom House Ambulance Service. And Nazar Cud said the way that he found out about this was, this past Saturday during camp, he found out about it because they were blessed with the presence of the CT bishops, and Bishop Tazadakba, he basically brought up this history. And I didn't even know about this either, But this just goes to show that Jacob really is the former of all things. Alright, going back to the article, it says the program, which was started in Pittsburgh in 1967, was the first public ambulance service to offer emergency medical treatment in the United States, and was comprised solely of black paramedics. It says over the years, the program saved thousands of lives and pioneered the field of emergency medicine. So Howard Hanna, which was founded in Pittsburgh only 10 years before this remarkable program, is proud to salute the heroes who made up the Freedom House ambulance service. Reading on. The first of its kind. Before 1967, ambulances did not provide emergency care on the way to the hospital. So before 1967, ambulances didn't, give you IVs and check your blood pressure, stop your bleeding, things of that nature. It says after an emergency or car accident, the police would be called to transport injured residents to the hospital in the back of a squad car or police van. The injured would receive no treatment, no CPR, no emergency medicine. Mortality rates were high and many did not make it to the hospital. So you see, this just proves that Jake is an innovator, And of course, they didn't get any, Jake don't get no credit for it. Most people don't even know this history. But that's why I'm bringing it out to you, whoever's listening. Because this is good information to know. It says that all changed in 1967, though, with the creation of the Freedom House ambulance service. Freedom House's all-black EMT staff received intensive training in emergency medical care and became the first team in the country to provide pre-hospital care. Thanks to their training and hard work, ambulance mortality rates in Pittsburgh dropped drastically and modern EMT care was born. Prior to becoming an ambulance service, Freedom House was a civil rights organization that worked to register voters, organize NAACP meetings, and provide job training for black Pittsburghers. In 1967, the organization was approached by Philip Hallen, president of the Maurice Falk Medical Fund, and Dr. Peter Safer, often credited as the father of CPR, to create a public ambulance service. You see, so Jake was doing it, man, since the 60s. Let me get a precept that comes to mind. This just proves that we are the Israelites, you know. We get the first precept that comes to mind. Jeremiah 50, there's the book of Jeremiah chapter 59, verse 19. And it reads, "The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance." Yahweh, the Lord, Yahweh, and the Lord is in all caps. I'll let you know it's talking about the God of Israel. His name is Yahweh. Yahweh is his name. Yahweh of hosts is his name. You see, so there's a book that's out. I forgot the matter of fact. Let me do this. Let me look up something real fast. Yeah, I got this book right here. This book, Black Inventors, Crafting Over 200 Years of Success. As you can see, it's only $15. You know, it's not that expensive, but it lists it lists a lot of inventors, and they were all so-called Negroes. They weren't African. You know, they try to call us African American. We're not African, and we damn sure ain't American. Those are those are two names after two sleazy Edomites. You know, African is Leo Cyprius Africanus, and American named after Americo Vespucci. So when we're not African, and we're not American, and we're not black. Black is only a color. It's not a nationality. But you know, back in the 60s, that's all Jake knew was black. You know, like that James Brown song, "Say It Loud, I'm black and I'm proud." But we're not black. We're different shades of brown. Hold on, let me cross the street. They're doing construction over here. They're always tearing up the ground where Jake live at. They don't never do this where Esau live at, which further proves that we have to be children of the Most High, because they're always trying to put in obstacles in our way on a daily basis. You know, making Jake move around is big business in the eyes of Esau. You know, keeping them moving so they can never get grounded and rooted and built up and learn their history. But yeah, let me get another precept. This just proves that we're the Lord's people, you know. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 2. And it reads, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth." You see? So, the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you have been chosen to be a peculiar people. Let's look up this word peculiar. I believe it means strange, peculiar. All right. It says a possession, property, valued property, peculiar, treasure. Matter of fact, We're going to have to do it again. Simple Google definition. Yeah, you see? It's a peculiar, strange or odd, unusual, particular, special. You see? So the Lord made the children of Israel a special people unto himself. See, the Lord created everybody, but he only knows the children of Israel. Let me get a quick precept. Alright, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19 and 20. It says, He showeth his word unto Jacob, and his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. You see? So there's no surprise that Jake excels in everything. You know, he's the inventor, he's the innovator, he's the creator, because we were given that God-given ability from the Creator himself. You see? So don't get it twisted. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's people, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. And this was just some beautiful information that I came across watching the brother Nazar Cut's video. And Lord's will, I'll leave the link to the article in the description box. But Lord's will, you was edified. Till next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.